Part 103. Three Kingdoms, I Have a Job Transfer Palace. Author, Strong Wine Burns the Heart. Chapter 1023. Lu Feng acquiesced to Wei Xiaobao's departure with the young emperor, and after they left, he asked the ministers to remember that they must fulfill their duties loyally. After all, he was leaving the capital to fight in the north and would not be able to come back for a few months. These ministers also understood what Lu Feng meant and they all agreed honestly. On that day, Lu Feng personally issued the imperial edict. Although it was still in the name of the little emperor, everyone in the world knew that it was actually Lu Feng's intention. However, Lu Feng was so wise and powerful, how could anyone think there was a problem? They all obeyed without any objection. Since then, this dynasty has been completely and smoothly taken over by Lu Feng. There is only one thing to do next, and that is to go to the north and defeat those grandsons. The soldiers in the court had already been prepared to fight, so there was no surprise after the order was issued. They were ready to fight and had formed a qualified team that was ready to go at any time. During the period of the little emperor, the soldiers all had strong combat capabilities, so Lu Feng could safely lead the team directly to the hospital without wasting time for new recruit training. And because less than 200 years have passed since the fall of the Ming dynasty during this period, the red cannons and other items left over from the Ming dynasty are still very complete. During the Qing dynasty, these equipment also underwent a certain degree of development to better develop these equipment. Although the continuous fire gun type was not invented, the use of firecrackers has become very common. They only cancelled the Ming dynasty's Shenji battalion mechanism and numbers, but the army itself was not cancelled. Lu Feng took this team out as a matter of course. With firearms to suppress, how could there be any difficulty in fighting those fools in the north who only had cold weapons? Soon after, Lu Feng led his troops to the northern border. The young emperor was young and had not yet set out to conquer the foreign countries. At this time, the foreign countries were also very successful. Thinking that even the emperors of the Central Plains could not control them, they would be invincible in the world, and even the Turks and Turks rushed over to cause trouble. Lu Feng had long known the urinary nature of this group of people, so he asked the cavalry to form a mobile team to maintain high mobility at all times. The infantry and heavy armor formed a square formation, with musketeers in the front row. If they fired a salvo, the Fan Bang people would be beaten into pieces. Sieve. Report to General Lu that the Fan Bang people's vanguard army has been completely destroyed. Should we take advantage of the victory and pursue it? The scouts in the front came back to ask for orders. The enemy's vanguard has collapsed across the board. If we take this opportunity to attack, we will definitely win a great victory and hit the enemy's main force. Army attack. Lu Feng made a prompt decision and ordered the entire army to sprint. Taking advantage of the big advantage now, he continued to expand the advantage and let the Fan Bang people feel what it feels like to be crushed. Less than one of these Fan Bang people only had cold weapons in their hands. They were beaten to the point of complete collapse. Even their main force was no match for Lu Feng. In front of the fire guns, the armor they wore was as thin as a piece of paper and was easily penetrated. These people collapsed. They fled in all directions, screaming, and saying silly things like God's coming. In the eyes of these foreign people with religious beliefs, those who cannot resist are the so-called God's coming, possessing divine power that mortals cannot infringe upon. Three Kingdoms, I Have a Job Transfer Palace. Author, Strong Wine Burns the Heart. Chapter 1025. The world was stable. Lu Feng thought that he had resources anyway, so he simply found a suitable time to go to Looting Mountain. This place contained treasures and the so-called dragon veins of the Qing dynasty. The little emperor had been looking for something for a lifetime, but for Lu Feng, who knew everything, it was easily available. Based on the clues in hand, I found the exact location. Because of the setting of the world view, the so-called dragon veins must be destroyed, so that the qi left by Qing can be completely cut off. After cutting off the energy left by Qing, Lu Feng collected all the treasures and mobilized troops to take away all the treasures. You must know that Qing's treasury has always been very poor. The little emperor has not yet grown up, and the treasury only has the legacy left by the first 3 generations. Before the prosperity of Kangxi and Qianlong was created, the treasury was extremely poor. Lu Feng's taking away these treasures would also bring more confidence to Yan's state and prepare for his departure. During the process of moving the treasures, Lu Feng stayed at a nearby official inn. After all, the treasures were very important, so Lu Feng planned to keep an eye on them in person and confirm that all the treasures had been moved before leaving with the last team. When night fell, Lu Feng returned to the guest room at the inn, but as soon as he entered, he smelled a scent. He glanced at the bed, and sure enough, there was an extra woman. This woman was completely vulgar. You could tell with your toes that she was sent by a local official to please him. But who are you kidding? Lu Feng has always been surrounded by stunning beauties. The people who sleep next to him every night are all stunning beauties. How could these vulgar fans be able to compare? So he glanced at this woman with great disgust. For the sake of being a woman, I will give you the last bit of dignity and get out of here, otherwise I will let you be killed by thousands of people and humiliated to death. Officials will inevitably have this kind of thoughts. Lu Feng thinks this is expected. He just warned this woman that she had better get out of her own way, otherwise he doesn't mind letting others know through this woman. There are some bottom lines that they cannot touch. This woman seemed to hear the cruelty in these words, and got out of bed tremblingly. Lu Feng closed the door, and before he could relax and prepare to take a bath and go to bed, an assassin in black stood on the beam. Suddenly he jumped down, and the dagger in his hand seemed to have been hidden for a long time. At this time, he aimed at Lu Feng's neck and stabbed it. Unfortunately, Lu Feng was not a weak scholar. Facing this assassin, he used a weapon faster than him. He quickly grabbed his wrist, bent it hard, and broke the assassin's hand. The dagger fell to the ground. Lu Feng gave the assassin 2 more kicks, and kicked the assassin's knees to pieces. The assassin howled in pain, but still before he could make another move, Lu Feng removed the assassin's jaw. The assassin was in terrible condition. His hands and feet were disabled, and his jaw was removed. As a result, he could not run away, let alone speak, and could only make the sound of "ah" to express how painful he was now. Lu Feng didn't care about his pain, so he called the defenders who were patrolling the post station, threw him into the prison, and asked the people in the prison to interrogate him carefully to find out what happened. But this man was destroyed by Lu Feng, and his mentality had already collapsed. The person who was being tortured to extract a confession had not yet been tortured to extract a confession, and the assassin was recruiting all kinds of people, just to give him a good time. Lu Feng also learned from this assassin that the instigators behind the scenes were the young emperor and the queen mother. The young emperor was still evil-minded at this time and united with the queen mother to assassinate him. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. 3 Kingdoms, I Have a Job Transfer Palace. Author, Strong Wine Burns the Heart. Chapter 1026. Since Lu Feng knew that the young emperor and the queen mother wanted to kill him, he would not be polite. After killing the assassin, he planned to go back with the treasure as soon as possible. Get rid of the little emperor and the queen mother to completely solve the future troubles. This little emperor is really an idiot. Does he really think he dare not kill him? I just wanted to give him a chance. Since he didn't cherish this opportunity, he didn't need to continue living in this world. Let him go to see the king of hell. As for the queen mother, it is also very easy to solve. With Su Quan by his side, all he needs to do is let Su Quan act as the fake queen mother and in turn kill the real queen mother. The real queen mother, whether alive or dead, will not have much impact on the situation, not to mention that with Su Quan here, even if someone wants to see the Queen Mother, Sequan can pretend that there is never any risk. It's just that now the little emperor really thinks that he and the Queen Mother can create some trouble together, but they have forgotten how terrible the opponent they face is. In front of Lu Feng, these two people are not enemies at all. After the treasure was moved back, Lu Feng immediately took action and asked Sequan to pretend to be the Queen Mother in the palace, so that everyone in the palace would turn their attention to the fake Queen Mother. At this time, the real Queen Mother was thrown out by Lu Feng to commit rebellion. Rebellious thief. A good show involving assassins was staged. Assassin. Come and catch the assassin. Someone wants to assassinate the AI family. Sequan shouted, and soon all the palace guards rushed over. They were stunned when they saw the two Queen Mothers. But Sequan played the Queen Mother in a professional way, and she was wearing the Queen Mother's clothes, sitting elegantly on a high seat. The Queen Mother shouted assassin. The real Queen Mother looked like she had sneaked into the palace and was still wearing eunuch clothes. The true Queen Mother always wanted to explain to others that she was the real Queen Mother, but Lu Feng did not give her a chance to speak at all. Lu Feng, who had been waiting in the palace for a long time, stepped forward and slapped the real Queen Mother on the throat, turning her into a mute. The real Queen Mother could not speak a word, but the guards in the inner palace thought that he was guilty of committing a crime. This time Queen Mother Zijhan couldn't say anything even if she wanted to. How could she possibly explain it clearly? The little emperor was also deliberately arranged by Lu Feng to stand next to Sequan, letting him see the consequences of resisting. What are you doing standing still? Why don't you hurry up and put this assassin to death on the spot? Sequan ordered. With the Queen Mother's order, the guards in the inner palace immediately took action. They killed the real Queen Mother under the horse without hesitation. In a moment, blood spurted out like a fountain. The terrible scene shocked the little girl. The emperor was so frightened that he had never bled so much even when he killed Oboy. He was trembling, and passed out with a pale face. When he woke up, everything was a foregone conclusion. The imperial doctor he was familiar with stood next to him, holding a bowl of black medicine in his hand. The little emperor drank the bowl of medicine with a sad smile. He knew that this meant hump, so he had nothing to hesitate. It would be better to die like this and have a good time. But he thought too much. Lu Feng didn't intend to kill him immediately and end up being scolded by everyone for usurping power. This medicine is actually a chronic poison. It only needs the little emperor can die if he drinks it every day for at least a month. Chronic death is like death from illness and will not be ignored. 3 Kingdoms, I Have a Job Transfer Palace. Author, Strong Wine Burns the Heart. Chapter 1027. The little emperor drank the chronic poison, and as expected, his health deteriorated day by day. From the first day he drank the poison, Lu Feng announced that the little emperor was seriously ill and invited famous doctors from all over the world to treat him. But in fact, he did not let any doctor get close to the little emperor. Only the imperial doctor who had been responsible for delivering poison could get close to the little emperor. As time passed, the little emperor died due to too much poisoning. Since then, there have been no orphans of the Qing dynasty in the world. Lu Feng took over the empire completely and smoothly. He quickly arranged the dispatch of officials in various places, and then prepared to go back. All 7 of his wives were pregnant, and he was not worried at all that there would be no successor in this world. Wei Xiaobao made 3 wives pregnant under Mr. Cha's writing, and Lu Feng directly made all 7 wives pregnant, which was also his skill. According to probability theory, if a person has 1 child, he must have 3 sons anyway. As long as he has a son, let him be the emperor in this world and rule the world. Never let this world fall into the hands of non-Han people. After arranging all this, Lu Feng returned to his original world. Your Majesty, you are back. I have a happy event to announce to your Majesty. As soon as he came back, Zhuliang stepped forward and said that there was a big happy event. What's wrong? Lu Feng felt strange. He had been away for more than half a year. Could there be any miracles happening here? Something happy happened. It's the eldest prince. The eldest prince is now 14 years old. He went out hunting not long ago and actually killed a big black bear by himself. Now the royal chef in the palace is cooking bear paws. The eldest prince said that he wants to present it to His Majesty. Lu Feng had previously contacted people in his native world through the job transfer hall. They had long known that he was coming back today, but they didn't expect that his eldest son would be so filial. They even went out hunting and prepared bear paws for him. Think about it carefully. Traveling freely through so many worlds, and now, not only is he surrounded by his lovely wife and concubines, but his child is also 14 years old. And the youngest one is still in the bellies of Shuang'er and Princess Jianing. Think about it, I feel quite accomplished. He has a wife and concubines, children, and all the worlds he goes to have been in his hands for a long time. He is really a big winner in life. If I remember correctly, the eldest son's name is Lu Yu's. I hope he can bring as much benefit as rain to the people. Don't treat the people badly, and don't treat yourself badly. His biological mother is Diao Chan. She is very handsome, and she looks like his mother and me. Style. Lu Feng thought about it carefully. Although he has many women, over the years, among the women in the original world, only Diao Chan and Xiao Qiao have given birth to children. They are not as many as women in other planes. Yes, Your Majesty, according to your instructions, the eldest son of the Emperor will be taught by me personally. Lu Buletin is his martial arts master. I and General Lu Buletin will do their best to live up to Your Majesty's trust. Zhuliang is very honored to be the master of Lu Feng's eldest son, so he has always taught attentively. Lu Buletin did not dare to slack off for a day. Unless he was taken to other dimensions, he was always responsible for the eldest son of the Emperor. Teaching. Over the years, the Emperor's eldest son has been taught both civil and military skills, and he has lived up to Lu Feng's expectations. Zhuliang also knew that Lu Feng liked the Emperor's eldest son, so he happened to take advantage of Lu Feng's return to let the Emperor's eldest son show off his skills and let Lu Feng look at your son's growth. 3 Kingdoms, I Have a Job Transfer Palace. Author, Strong Wine Burns the Heart. Chapter 1028. Lu Feng patted his forehead. He had been running around all these years and had forgotten that his son had grown up. He had not spent much time with the children. The children are still very close to him, but they don't a Euro trademark T suffer from the usual lack of family affection. Let's go and see what good things your apprentice has prepared. Lu Feng smiled and asked Zhuliang to come with him to see what the eldest son had prepared. This reception banquet was actually hosted by his son. Lu Feng was also looking forward to it. After all, he is a modern man and always treats all children. They are all treated equally. There is no gap between the brothers. In addition, the women in the harem are all top beauties, each with their own resourcefulness. Educating the children is a piece of cake, and you don't a Euro trademark T have to worry about it. Entering the Changfeng Palace in the palace, here Lu Yuz and others arranged a reception banquet. Long live your majesty. My sons and ministers pay their respects to my father. Long live my father. Long live my father. Everyone shouted long live, knelt down on the ground, and knocked their foreheads on the ground, showing great respect to Lu Feng. Zhuliang also joined them, kneeling on one side. Ping Shen, Yuz, I heard from your master Zhuge that you went out hunting and hunted a bear? Good skills. Lu Feng asked them to stand up, praised Lu Yuz very much, and asked him to sit next to him. Thank you, father, for your praise. I am just lucky. I was able to successfully hunt the black bear this time because of the teachings of Master Zhuge and Master Lu. Otherwise, I would not be able to do this. Lu Yuz is very humble and has always been grateful for the teachings of the two masters. However, he has received the best resources in the country since he was born. It would be too bad if he cannot make some impressive achievements. Got it? It's not bad to be able to do this at the age of 14, but you still have to remember to guard against arrogance and impatience. Don't think that hunting a black bear this time means you are powerful. Your master Lu Buletin is much better than you. Lu Feng is not deliberately attacking Lu Yuz, he is just telling the truth. Lu Buletin has the most praise for Lu Buletin among people, which shows how high his military strength is. Under Lu Feng, although he was upgraded by the transfer hall, these generals are all the most senior, but among the same level, Lu Buletin is still the well-deserved number one. With Lu Buletin teaching his son, Lu Feng is relieved. What's more, as the eldest son, Lu Yuz has millions of eyes on him. Keep an eye on him, eat a Euro trademark S impossible if he doesn't a Euro trademark T grow up. The son must keep his father's teachings in mind. Father, please try the bear paws that your son beat back. It took the imperial chef 2 full days to make them. This is a good thing. Lu Yuz made a humble statement and looked at Lu Feng with admiration. She was very much looking forward to the fruits of her labor being praised by her father. Lu Feng nodded and officially announced the banquet. Everyone gathered together and happily held the reception banquet. Bear paw is a very difficult ingredient to prepare. Let alone 2 days, a chef with limited conditions would not know how to make a delicious dish even if he is given 7 days. Only people of Lu Feng's level can have it in 2 days. The imperial chef who can make bear paws, a delicacy from the mountains, has arrived. Not only that, he also prepared the best crucian carp. This is to let Lu Feng have both bear paws and fish. For this, Lu Feng did not criticize anything, although Mencius I have said such words, but they are to teach others. For Lu Feng, an emperor, he does not need to follow that boring truth. As long as he wants, he can get it. It is not that complicated. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. 3 Kingdoms, I Have a Job Transfer Palace. Author, Strong Wine Burns the Heart. Chapter 1029. After the reception banquet, Lu Feng also enjoyed family happiness with the women in the harem, took the children out for hunting, and watched their lessons in person in the palace. As for the princess, Lu Feng doted on her so much that he loved her to the heavens for no other reason. Lu Feng has so many women, and he also has many sons. Only De Chiao gave birth to a daughter, and the others are all sons. Of course, this daughter must be treasured. He is still less than 5 years old, which is the most innocent and radiant age. It would be strange if Lu Feng doesn't have a baby. All the rules are in accordance with the rules and regulations of the crown prince. Not to mention that the palace he lives in is built separately. Even the maids and eunuchs responsible for taking care of him are carefully selected. Your Majesty, I have something to discuss with your Majesty, and I would like to ask your Majesty's permission. One day, Lu Feng was reviewing memorials with his precious daughter in his arms. De Chiao came to him and was very happy to see his daughter being favored by all. De Chiao was born dignified and elegant, and his daughter also inherited her beauty and temperament. She was even more dignified and majestic as the princess of a country, which made Lu Feng unable to put it down. He wished he could hold her in his arms at all times, for fear of breaking it when she put it on the ground. Tell me, I always respond to your mother and daughter's requests, so there is no need to be so cautious. Back in the original world, Lu Feng also changed his name from me to me. He waved and asked De Chiao to come and sit next to him. He put his hand around De Chiao's slim waist and enjoyed this moment of family happiness. Your Majesty loves the eldest princess, and I am very happy. After all, each of the sisters has only one child, but they are all princes. I am the only one with a daughter. I always worry that your majesty will be angry. I never thought that your majesty loves the princess more than the princes. What's more, I am so happy that I want to rely on your favor to ask your majesty to issue an order to make Zhuliang's wife Huang Yueying the princess's master. Do you think it is okay? As a concubine, Diqiao should not interfere in the affairs of the previous dynasty. Of course, the emperor has the final say as to who the emperor's master is. Diqiao's initiative to propose this is actually breaking the rules. It will make people speculate that this concubine is it because he wants to win over the former ministers through his children, especially since Huang Yueying is still the wife of Zhuliang, and Lu Feng has always regarded Zhuliang highly. There is nothing wrong with this. Although Huang Yueying is a woman, her resourcefulness is unparalleled in the world. Few women can compare with her. Even Zhuliang often said that he and his wife had gained a lot from their night talks at Bingzhu. She is a good candidate for a master. I am sure. Lu Feng will not think that Diqiao is trying to win over the ministers. His women and ministers are 100% loyal, and such bloody drama of betrayal will never happen to him. Diqiao is also very happy to get permission and give him the child found a good teacher. I would like to express my gratitude to your majesty for your kindness. Ding, please prepare the host to go to the world of Qin Shi Minjiao to collect famous swords in the world. There is no limit on the number, but the number must be greater than 6. If you complete the task, you can get a kaleidoscope of 3,000 worlds. The kaleidoscope can provide the host with a view of all the worlds he has visited. Barrier-free control. At this time, a new mission came to report. The valuable thing about this mission is that it does not require conquering the world, but what is very troublesome is that it is actually in the world of Minjiao in Qin dynasty. Even the original author of this world did not include the main line of the world. All the branch plots have been written, and even if they go there, they will still be half-finished products in dilapidated condition. Maybe Chen Yaojin will appear halfway through, and he will be able to explode with fighting power. 3 Kingdoms, I Have a Job Transfer Palace. Author, Strong Wine Burns the Heart. Chapter 1030. Lu Feng felt a headache when he thought about Qin Shimingyu's world. The force value setting in this world was okay in the early stage, and he used to be a fan of Qin Shimingyu. But later, many plot holes appeared in this world, and the setting of force values a euro was confusing. Soon, Lu Feng gave up on being a fan. I have long lost my enthusiasm for it, but I never thought that one day I would actually go to the world of Qin Shi Minjiao in person. I have to say, it really depends on who the heaven will spare. Ding, this trip to the Minjiao world of Qin dynasty will generate the identity of this world for the host. If the host can unify the world, it will be regarded as overfulfillment of the task and receive a super gift package. If there is no unification of the world and only the collection of famous swords is completed, then only the original award. The system added the description of this mission, which sounded the same thing, but Lu Feng was speechless. Unifying the world is still one of the main tasks given by the system, but this time because the world he went to is quite special, so unification the world has become a task that the host can choose to complete. Since it is no longer a necessary condition, it is up to Lu Feng, the host, to choose what to do. Your Majesty, what's wrong? Lu Feng didn't say anything, and Diqiao didn't know what happened, so he asked him in a low voice. It's okay, I'm about to go out recently. You and your children should stay well in the palace. Let Huang Yueying enter the palace to teach the princess. Lu Feng kissed Diqiao lovingly. Her delicate skin was not inferior to that of a 17 or 18-year-old girl. She had enjoyed enough and it was time to go. After getting close to the princess for a while, she remembered that her eldest son Lu Yuz was 14 years old this year. He is a child, so why not take him with him on this mission and give him some training? After deciding, Lu Feng asked Zhao Yun and Guan Yu to wait at the job transfer hall together with Guan Yu and Zhang Fei. He also ordered Lu Buletin and Lu Yuz to come together to see when everyone is here, they are ready to go to the Minjia world of Qin dynasty through the job transfer hall. Because this world is quite special, people are more valuable than their talents. Besides, the system has already said that a special identity will be prepared for him this time, allowing him to integrate into this world more easily to complete tasks, so Lu Feng did not need to bring others with him. Soon the system arranged for them to enter the world of Qin Shi Minjia. When Lu Feng opened his eyes, he had already appeared in a very gorgeously renovated palace. Guan Yu and the others were standing on both sides very respectfully, observing the surroundings under the steps. Is Gong Zifeng feeling better today? The king said that if he still felt uncomfortable, he would ask the royal doctor to come and take a look. Outside the palace, someone came to deliver an order. The person who delivered the order called him young master, and it seemed that he was at least a member of the royal family. The king also asked specifically about his health. From this, it can be judged that the relationship with the king is not bad, but I don't know which country he is from. I'm in good health today. There's no need to call the imperial doctor. Does the king want to see me? Lu Feng tried. The prince said exactly what he said. The king said that the birth of his eldest son today is a great joy. He named him Fusu and wanted you, Mr. Feng, to meet your eldest nephew. The eunuch who delivered the order replied respectfully. From these words, Lu Feng also judged that he was in the Qin state and had a brotherly relationship with Qin King Yingzheng. After all, the young master Fusu was a famous person, not to mention his father. Suddenly many people it's really unexpected to have a nephew, but this status is good and can bring a lot of convenience to Lu Feng. 3 Kingdoms, I Have a Job Transfer Palace. Author, Strong Wine Burns the Heart. Chapter 1031. Lu Feng glanced at his eldest son. He was already 14 years old. Did the system prepare a reasonable identity for him? Okay, I understand. Go and tell the king, I'll be there right away. Since this is the first time we meet, Lu Feng will certainly not refuse. It is necessary to meet and get to know King Qin Yingzheng, so as not to be embarrassed if he doesn't recognize him when he sees him later. Not long after, Lu Feng took Lu Buletin and others. When the people went forward, Lu Buletin moved closer to Lu Yuz. This was to protect his apprentice. Guan Yu and others were by Lu Feng's side to protect their master. When they arrived at the palace, King Qin Yingzheng had not yet held a banquet, and the ministers just knelt down and sat quietly in the main hall. Above, quietly waiting for Yingzheng to give the order. Oh, Brother Wang is here, come quickly, come to me, I have something great to share with Brother Wang today. The handsome King Yingzheng of Qin, sitting on the main seat, happily invited Lu Feng to come and sit next to him. This was a great honor during the Warring States period. Of course, Lu Feng disdained this honor. But there is no need to worry about this now. Congratulations to the king on his successor. You still need to have enough superficial skills. The first son of King Qin Yingzheng, Fusu, means that King Qin Yingzheng will have someone to succeed him from now on. After the world is settled, Fusu is destined to become the prince. Of course, this is under the premise that Zhao Gao does not exist. The character setting given by the system is quite reasonable. He is always a little older than the current Qin King Yingzheng, not to mention that even the son beside him is already 14 years old. How could he be Qin King Yingzheng? Where is Zheng's younger brother? Well, what I want to hear most is Brother Wanga Euro trademark S. Congratulations. After all, Brother Wang is older than me and had an heir early. Seeing that young Master Yuz is 14 this year, I have to lament how time flies. Yingzheng looked very happy. After greeting Lu Feng, he smiled and asked Lu Yuz to sit aside. It seemed that he was very welcoming to Lu Feng's family. Then he waved his hand and asked the nanny to help the young master. He took it out and showed it to Lu Feng. A pink and jade-carved little baby was taken out by the nanny. He was sleeping soundly. He didn't look like a newborn baby, but more like one that had been raised for 10.5 months. I can only say that it is indeed the young master who has been blessed with so many blessings from heaven and earth, and he is also very beautiful when he is raised. Young Master Fusu is a good name. I believe that with the personal guidance of the king, he will grow into a very good person. Lu Feng felt very sorry when he thought about young Master Fusu's solution. King Qin Yingzheng handed over Meng Tian and hundreds of thousands of troops to Fusu because he wanted Fusu to inherit his throne in the future, but who could have thought of Fusu? How could Su be so stupid? He didn't even judge whether Yingzheng's orders were true or false. He did whatever he said and even did stupid things like committing suicide and apologizing. In vain, he blinded a fierce general like Meng Tian and the hundreds of thousands of Meng family troops. Ha ha ha, just take advantage of Brother Wanga Euro trademark's good words. Yingzheng was very happy and patted Lu Feng on the shoulder, looking forward to the future. That night, after the banquet was over, Lu Feng specially took a look at Tianwen sword. This was the #1 sword in Minjiu during the Qin dynasty. No famous sword in the world dared to compete with Tianwen sword. Lu Feng also liked Tianwenjian very much. If he could get his hands on this sword, it would be a good collection. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Three Kingdoms, I Have a Job Transfer Palace. Author, Strong Wine Burns the Heart. Chapter 1032. After the banquet, no one paid much attention to Lu Feng anymore. It seemed that everyone was afraid that they would get too close to other members of the royal family and arouse Yingzheng's suspicion. Then the gains would outweigh the losses. Tianwen sword, where did it come from? Yingzheng wanted to carry young Master Fusu back to find young Master Fusu's biological mother. He was not with Lu Feng for the time being, so Lu Feng looked at the huge palace and couldn't help but think about where Tianwen sword was. He couldn't remember for a moment. After all, it was the worldview I saw when I was a child. Now that I am so old, my son is 14 years old. It is normal that I can a Euro trademark T remember things from my childhood clearly. What did you say, Your Majesty? Lu Buletin was right next to Lu Feng, so when he heard him muttering to himself, he thought he was about to give an order, so he went over to ask. Fine. Lu Feng waved his hand and asked him to be quiet for a while. The others shut up. They realized that His Majesty was thinking about something and they all fell silent. After thinking about it, Tianwen sword is an accessory of Yingzheng. He should carry it with him. Xianyang Palace is so big. It would be unrealistic to search for them one by yourself. Why don't you just check to see if Yingzheng's sword is the Tianwen sword when you go to court tomorrow? Anyway, according to Qin Shi Huang's rules, no one was allowed to wear a sword except him when he went to court. The Tianwen sword turned out to be his sword, so he might bring it with him when he went to court. But before the next day, when Lu Feng was sleeping in his palace that night, King Qin Yingzheng came to his door. Is Brother Wang sleeping? Qin King Yingzheng did not alert anyone, but came with a few personal guards. This surprised Lu Feng. Is it possible that he is so reassuring here? What kind of identity has this dog system assigned? Your Majesty, why are you here so late? If those officials knew about this, I'm afraid they would have to lecture me in front of the king tomorrow morning during the morning court. Lu Feng joked. King Qin is young now. Instead of going to his harem to breed heirs at night, he comes here to look for him. The ministers will definitely have objections to this elder brother. Those ministers talk nonsense every day, but I don't want to listen to their nonsense. I am looking for Brother Wang because I want to play Liu Bo chess with Brother Wang and talk. Qin Wang Yingzheng didn't look like he was here to spy on Lu Feng. He seemed to really have something to discuss. Okay, I'll let my servants prepare the stove and hot soup. The season we traveled to happened to be winter, so it was a bit cold. If two people want to sit down and play chess, their whole bodies will definitely be cold over time, so they must prepare a stove. Okay, let's go play chess. Qin Wang Yingzheng laughed, took Lu Feng's hand and entered the house. The servants quickly prepared stoves and other heating items and sent them over, and Liubo chess was also prepared. And it was very luxurious and made of fine wood. Part of it is inlaid with jade, which looks extremely noble. Such a luxurious chess is only used by princes and nobles. This is a very special chess. The chessboard is divided into 12 lines, with the name of water in the middle. In fish chess, 2 players each hold 6 chess pieces, 1 black and 1 white. When playing, they throw chopsticks and dice. There are 6 chopsticks thrown. In this era, they were all made of bamboo, and there are 18 dice. After meeting the players, throwing chopsticks, and rolling the dice, the game of chess begins. 3 Kingdoms, I Have a Job Transfer Palace. Author, Strong Wine Burns the Heart. Chapter 1033. Liubo chess contains gossip and connotations, so it takes a lot of brains to play, and the way to win depends on who gets the most chips. In the place called water in the middle, there are fish chess placed. If you catch the fish with the chess piece in your hand, it is called catching the fish. You will get 2 chips for catching the fish at one time. In the end, whoever catches the fish with the highest number of chips wins. The better you are at numbers, the stronger your math skills will be. In short, ETA Euro trademark S the world of top math students who know the 8 diagrams. This time I went to see Brother Wang deliberately late at night, not because I wanted to disturb Brother Wang's sleep. It's just that Fusu had just gone to bed, so I could only come here now. I hope Brother Wang won't be unhappy because of this. Young Master Fusu is the first son of Qin King Yingzheng, so he has always had high hopes for Qin King Yingzheng. He valued Fusu very much and finally got a taste of being a father. So he loved Fusu especially when he was a baby. The whole process of putting Su to sleep just now, although it was the wet nurse who put Su to sleep, the king of Qin Yingzheng did not relax for a moment. He watched the child fall asleep and then came over with peace of mind. And the king of Qin Yingzheng was a far-sighted person. He knew very well that he could only pamper Fusu unscrupulously for now. When Fusu is older, King Qin Yingzheng will train him as his future heir. If he loves Fusu too much, the education for heirs is not good. Your Majesty, why not spend more time with Fusu? He is still young and lacks the company of his parents. Lu Feng persuaded very generously. At first glance, it seemed like 2 brothers were really chatting about family matters. The topic was quite relaxed. Brother Wang is interested. I am here to help Su, and I want to discuss something with Brother Wang. The king of Qin Yingzheng finally told him the purpose of coming here. Lu Feng didn't say anything, waiting for the king of Qin Yingzheng to continue. The guards standing next to him just guarded his safety dully, and seemed to be deaf at other times. The blind wooden man was motionless. Lu Feng looked at the waist of King Qin Yingzheng, who was wearing a sword. The black Cambridge pattern could not be seen clearly under the black robe, but since it was worn by King Yingzheng of Qin, it was most interesting. It's possible, it's Tianwen sword. Fusu is the eldest son of the widow, and he will definitely inherit everything from the widow in the future. Therefore, he wants to find someone close to him to accompany him when he is a child. He must not be too young, otherwise he will not be able to take care of him. The widow sees that his nephew Yos is just the right age and capable. It's like asking Brother Wang to give him a little face, let Yos accompany Fusu, and help him dominate the world in the future. The young master Fusu has just been born and has not even passed 100 days. King Qin Yingzheng has already begun to plan the future of his child. It can only be said that the king of a country does have a long-term vision. This is also a way of taking refuge when an emergency occurs. During times of war, If the king of a country is assassinated or dies in the chaos of the army when he goes out to fight, then his successor must be good enough. Otherwise, how can the country be safely handed over to the next king? Now for Yingzheng, because he has a son, he can feel more at ease, because the entire Qin kingdom will have successors. But what he cannot rest assured is that this child is still too young. If no one is around to take care of him, as an assistant, there is no way to bear the rise and fall of the entire country. He needs a suitable person to always be by his son's side.